Is it okay? Besides the parents, say parents
Besides the
are.
parent, they've done
Let's
everything.
let's assume the parents are doing their job.
Parents are doing their job. That's
Doing their job.
great. If the
They're trying to
children,
protect them, but the environment is so bad that they go to a losing battle. You know what I mean? To safeguard.
that's possible.
They may not have done those necessary sort of parenting skills when they're young, but as they went along, as being a parent, they learned more things. But by the time they've sort of figured out this is what I should be doing, they're already grown up.
True,
That
true.
that could happen, right?
If that's the situation, that's the case at the moment, because you can't really control that. Parents doing everything in their own power to
They're
do
trying the
everything.
best.
They've done their best, okay, and the child has ended up doing X, Y, Z. Then it's the parents' job from now on to move forward and give them better understanding, better training, better education, and say, look, X, Y, Z, whatever it is. If they are unable to do all that, then you need to seek help. I'll be honest with you.
So besides the parents, what other services out there right now?
I don't feel like there's any form of services out there for children or youngsters out there for the community. I don't think there is. Personally, I could be wrong, right? Apart from what I can understand, there's certain stuff like me, even the mosque is not providing anything, your local mosque, like out of our service kind of thing. They can do. Mosque is a place to just, pray your 5 times salah and you go and do lecture, then you come on, you just become like perfect, you know what I mean?
Some mosques do that.
They
but
do, but
there
I
are
don't-
also some mosques here who are trying their level best within their means because mosques are community funded. So they're trying their level best. Not all mosques. I think there's some mosques who are trying to make. They have a department called the youth program, or it is in some mosques, and they're trying to reach out to youngsters to get them in the mosque and trying to safeguard them from those sort of criminal activities. But some mosques don't have the facility.
If they are doing it, I've not come across anything of a major, if they're using public fund, communities, funds, things like that, and they're actually doing it, it's not been greatly advertised. You don't need a lot of money to advertise certain things. You can do it in quick way. Get volunteers. There's a way of doing it, but as far as I'm aware, there's nothing out there for the youngsters. All they have is get in cars, parents, provide them with whatever money they need, going into drugs, and God knows what they commit such crimes.
Yeah, there's a lovely quote I just read the other day. Yeah, stop giving them what you never had.
Yeah.
Give them so that means obviously in terms of materialistic things. You know what I mean, like cars and money, whatever. Give them the things that you never knew. Give them knowledge and skills and all these things. So stop giving them what you never had. You may not had a flashy car or a big house or a fancy, I don't know, suit to go to the office, but give them the things that you never knew. The required
knowledge
information, of how the world is working, politics, upbringing, nurturing, what to do, what not to do, those skills, how to make a fire. Because a lot of kids don't know how to make a fire, you know what I mean? Like without
matchstick and light.
matchsticks and a light.
But I think we shouldn't be teaching them to this new generation kids how to make a fire with sticks and stones, right? Right? You don't have a lighter.
Because I mean, burning buildings, isn't it?
They'll go out and say, let's practice this. I know how to make a fire, and look, it works. And
What I mean by that is like when you go camping, it's how to search for wood, how to find the right wood for to do.
But do the children know there's a such thing called camping in the first place? Knowledge.
How many parents actually take their kids to camping?
Do they know there's a such thing called hiking? Do they know there's a such thing like, cliff diving? Do they know there's such thing as like, canoeing, boating? There's like so many different activities that they can indulge themselves in, right? Save that money, and make a plan, go out and do stuff like that with a community. Get to know your community.
It can be said as well. It can be said that it's tough times, man. Tough times. Parents, both parents are working. So suppose there's some parents. We know there's some parents. Both mother and father are working. You know what I mean? And because they have grandparents or the else, they lead them to it.
Well, the way I look at it is, if you can become parent, if you can bring a child into this world, you should also be aware and have certain time that you make for your children. You can't just bring them here and say, okay, we're busy. You shouldn't be busy. You shouldn't have children if you're busy. I'm sorry. You shouldn't have children if you're busy and you can't have time for your children. What's the point of parenting? What's the point of having children? Yes, as long as you can provide and give them certain amount of time and whatever you can work as a partner. You don't need like 40, 50,000 pound income in your house. right? Too much money coming in. You need to look after it. Once you have a child, you need to.
You think that's too much money? Yeah,
No, I'm just
50
saying.
grand. Wait, I can do with 50 grand, man.
Yeah, anyone can, right? 1,500, well, I'm
But
telling you, some
obviously,
average, you know.
there's a huge sacrifice I think that fathers make. I don't think it's a negligence on purpose. I think fathers knew that. Listen, if I have to provide for my family and for them to have a good life, I have to work hard and long.
No, don't get me wrong. Fathers do what they
And
do.
fathers are doing the shitty job, the crappy jobs that they don't want to do, but they're doing it because that's their
They're so
job.
proud. No, no, no. Respect to the fathers out there. If the
Respect.
mothers also became like mothers and stayed a bit home and looked after the children,
They
the
are
mothers at the
housewives
house.
because nowadays
You don't have to be a housewife. Say they're working part time, whatever it is. But that little bit of time that they have, if they was to bond with the children and family, that'd be perfect. Because you've got aunties, we never had aunties and things like that back in the days, right? We only had parents and people you knew and so-called friends. Now you've got aunties, uncles. You've got more of a reason to interact with all them.
yeah,
Right.
they're English speaking. They're sort of brought up in this
Understanding.
country as well. They understand the schooling, the college system, and everything else. So you can relate to them more than we did back in that day. So all our parents and aunties and uncles are Bengali speaking or whatever speaking they are, right?
So going back to the incident you mentioned, right? This is what's happened. It might sound really harsh,
Go on.
right? But I'm sorry, I'm not gonna follow the local community how they think. Someone's beating up someone without any reason. There's something wrong with that child. Straightforward,
course.
right? And his upbringing as well. I'm not saying all parents are like that. Yes, maybe in 100, 2, 3 of the parents are really good, but the child ended up being like that. There's no control over that. That's fine. In that case, what do? There's few options. Give him a slap, right? Yes, the police not going to do anything. The community people won't do anything. You can't just be good on one side and expect things going to be okay by talking and, sometimes you got to raise up, right?
Yeah, my issue is, yeah, are parents aware where your son is, what your son is doing?
No, I
Say,
don't
say
think so.
suppose, yeah, you find out later, my son beat somebody up once, twice, 3 times. Have you made did
Right
you bother
decision.
finding out what he
What
does, where he
happened?
does, and are you keeping an eye on him? And moreover, right, more so, your daughter, what are your daughters doing? Who are they with? What are they doing? You know what I mean? Why are they coming home late night? Who are they with? Who are they staying over with? All these things needs to be sort of addressed.
It can be addressed because everybody looks at life and family growth, family upbringing in a different way. Some people are okay doing all that, going to the aunties, friends, staying over,
But
not
the
staying over,
line,
coming along, whether they're lying or not, or it might be even genuinely true, right? You can't really control that. It's got nothing to do with that. End of the day, it goes back to one thing: do they trust your parents? Do the parents trust the children? Do the children trust the parents as
good
well?
question, good
Right?
question, yeah.
It's all about one. It's like me and you. Do we trust each other to speak? It can't be just one-sided. Like say, yes, you know what, I trust you, I like you, whatever it is, everything's fine.
Just
But
for the
I
camera,
don't
yeah.
tell you, you know
Oh,
what I mean?
I agree
Right?
with everything you say.
You know what
I
I'm
have
trying to
nothing.
say?
I have nothing like say that.
Yeah.
Everything is gold, mate. Everything you say is gold.
Everything's it shouldn't be like that. It should be like, okay, Asians, they don't even have meetings once a week in the table. Forget daily. Meal, you're supposed to have a meal together, sit on a table and talk about your week in general, as far as I'm aware, right? Talk about how was your week, how was your day, how was things, any issues, what happened. You get to know people like that, their thought process. No, come and eat, you've ate, that's the love. Come and do this, right? That's love. That's finished now. You love your child so much, you don't even know who your child is.
Yeah. The thing is,
You think by sending them to, for example, some Asian like Muslim families, right? Send them to madrasa, things like that. You're just gonna have a child that grows up into something special and perfect, right? That's called mind controlling. That's like brainwashing.
Well, where?
Like making someone go and say become an alim or something, and you expect them to be perfect now. They'll be brainwashed because Islam is so simple, it's so logical. There's no. I know it's not Islamic
How are they
channel,
brainwashed?
right? Brainwash no, I'm saying that's what people assume. Like
Oh, okay,
parents.
I see.
Parents assume that send
They'll
them
go to a system, to modern school, and expect they will be
perfect.
really stand-up people.
Yeah, right. It doesn't work like that. You need to know your child. They'll give them education, but that education they would understand.
Those are just tools.
Right? It's just tools. They might never use it because they've not had that bonding that they needed with someone special. Right?
Yeah.
You've done everything from your means, I understand, but bonding can be even like half an hour every day, 15 minutes every day. Sit down. It doesn't have to be like 2, 3 hours. But can you provide that 15 minutes and sit down and talk to him in general?
So family time,
It's
bonding,
very
you
important.
need to put that in so that there's mutual trust between two.
Yeah.
Now he or she may have made mistakes, right? But it's about you as a family
Accepting
unit going forward and how to fix and rectify those mistakes and move forward as a family.
Yeah.